let's get serious. My name is Rachel. I am simply... Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel and today we are talking about finances. Starting out by saying that nothing I say today is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor or professional. These are just my personal experiences. I'm 24 years old. I've been married for 2 years and I'm just gonna tell you how I like to manage my money. This is not gonna be a budgeting video. It's gonna be more so how do we view money overall? What concepts do we like to use? And what are our long-term strategies to build wealth and be financially free? I'm also going to be telling you how much money I make on YouTube, so make sure to watch the entire video if you want the tea. So let's start off with some general money advice. These are bigger picture things that I think most of them are pretty common sense, but I just want to get them out there in case anybody doesn't know yet. Number one, the less debt, the better. That's what I personally believe. If you can pay off any outstanding debt that you have, of course, besides your mortgage, if you have a house, that is going to benefit you in the long run. One of the first things that AJ, my husband, and I did right when we got married was pay off all of our student loans. I personally didn't have any, but he had some, so we paid that off as soon as we could. That way we didn't have to worry about that anymore. So I highly encourage, if you have, maybe you have a car loan or credit card loans, I would recommend to go ahead and pay those off as soon as possible. That way you don't have to worry about them and they're not in the back of your mind. And these are all from Dave Ramsey, by the way. These are not my original ideas, but another thing that he says is to have an emergency fund. So we personally have an emergency fund of 6 months expenses in case anything happens. We have that fund to kick in as opposed to relying on credit cards and building up more credit card debt. If you can't afford to do the full 6 months of living expenses, try as much as you can. Try to get to at least $1,000. This is Dave's advice. So that if your car breaks down, if you have an emergency room visit, if your pet gets sick, you are able to fund those expenses with cash as opposed to credit cards. Number three, buy used cars instead of new cars. I feel like this one everybody has heard about by now, but Dave says...
Our advice, knowing that cars lose 60 to 70% of their value in the first 4 years, is to buy a quality used car unless you have a net worth in excess of $1 million. Then if you want to buy a new car, you can afford to take the loss on it. But the worst car accidents do happen on the showroom floor.
So that means for people like you and me, we should not be buying new cars anytime soon. A used car is such a better financial decision. Next, I think it's important to live below your means. So even if you're making $1 million a year, I think it's important to stay grounded and stay at a reasonable living expense. So try to avoid that lifestyle inflation. So let's say you get a raise at work. Instead of saying, oh, since I got a raise, now we can increase our grocery budget, increase our vacation budget. No, try to not do that, because if your lifestyle inflation meets up with your current income, then you are just going to be living paycheck to paycheck. Even though you're making more money, you're not actually saving more and building wealth. This is definitely something that I need to work on myself, but we'll talk about that later. And lastly, in this section, I want to talk about giving back. We personally believe that it's really important to give back to the church, to the community, to people in need. We are Christians, so we do the 10% rule. 10% of our income goes to the church and people in need. And we just find that that keeps us so humble and grateful, because when you see 10% of your income going to others, it really makes you reevaluate all of the money that you do have. It just puts the focus on somebody other than yourself. So money is not something that gratifies me and makes me better and I get to buy whatever I want. No, my money helps other people, and that I feel like that just helps keep us grounded. Even if you're not a Christian or a religious person, I think what goes around comes around. And if you can give back, even if it's a small amount, I think that's so good. Okay, moving on, let's talk about our different income streams. Right now, we currently have 6 streams of income, but some of them are lumped together, I guess. So I just like to say 6 because it sounds like a lot. Let's start with AJ. So AJ is a full-time trader. So he is a day trader and a swing trader. So day trading is when you buy and sell a stock within the same day, and then swing trading is when you buy and sell the same stock, but within a couple days or a couple weeks to capitalize on the swings in the market. So that's what he does basically full-time. He's also in school, but as far as income, that is what he does. So that's number one. Number two, let's see here, my 8 to 5, of course. So I work in the office 8 to 5. You guys have seen all of my work vlogs and all that. So that is, of course, our most stable and steady source of income. I know exactly what I'm getting paid every single week, and there's no question about it. Next, we have YouTube/social media. Now there's 3 ways here. So if we add up the first 2 plus these 3, we're at 5. So the 3 ways are, number 1, AdSense here on YouTube. When you click on a video and you have an ad that plays before the video, that is, I get some money from that. The second way is through sponsorships. For example, this video is going to be sponsored by Fetch Rewards, which ties in perfectly with this video. I'll talk about them in a little bit. And then number 3, I have, what is it? Affiliate income. So for example, if I tell you that I got this shirt from H&M, which I did, it's one of my favorite shirts. It's so cute, so soft. I'll link this shirt for you guys down below, and it's going to be an affiliate link, meaning if you purchase this shirt through my link, I get a very small, it's very small, I get a very small commission, but over time with a mass amount of people, it does add up and it does support me so much. So it will be linked down below, and there's no extra cost to you. It literally costs you the same whether you use my link or not, but I do get a share of H&M's profit. Later on, I will tell you exactly how much I make in each of these income streams, so stay tuned. But those are the first 5 ways we make money. And then number 6, what is it? And then lastly, we have interest income or dividends from stocks. I'll talk more about investing in the next section, but basically we have bank accounts and investment accounts that give us a return on our money. So that is the smallest source of income right now, of course, because the percentages are pretty small, but it does add up over time. And something I want to stress is that every dollar matters. Whether it's not buying drinks at restaurants or not buying paper towels, every single dollar counts. And if you have that mindset, then when you add up all of these small tasks, they turn into a lot of money. And that's why I love Fetch Rewards so much. They are the perfect sponsor for today's video, you guys. Fetch Rewards is a super easy app that you download, you scan your receipts, and you get rewards. You can scan literally any receipt from any retailer and get rewards, and you can get gift cards like Amazon, Marshalls. I literally scanned a Marshalls receipt and I get Marshalls rewards. Like, what? For example, here I have my Fetch app on my phone, and I'm going to scan my Home Depot receipt that AJ got the other day. So I'm going to scan it here. It reads it, and then boom, so many points. It's that easy. Likewise, I have my Marshalls receipt here. I'm going to submit, and bam, points just like that. But the coolest feature is the e-receipts, in my opinion. You go down here to e-receipt, and it scans your Amazon account and your email. Guys, I was shocked when I saw how many freaking points I got. It found 5 receipts that I completely forgot about. We have Abercrombie for $152 receipt. We have Levi's, Best Buy, H&M, and another Abercrombie receipt. Guys, these are receipts that went to my email that I completely forgot about. And all you have to do is link your email account and it does everything for you. Best of all, we can go to the reward section and you can redeem these for gift cards like Adidas, Advanced Auto Parts, Amazon, Bath & Body Works, get that fall candle you've always wanted. CVS, I literally go to CVS once a week. So I highly recommend that you download Fetch Rewards. Guys, every dollar matters. It's so fast and it's easy. You don't have to worry about where the receipt is from. It literally works with any store. check out the link down below or download the app and use my code VIN to get 3,000 points when you scan your first receipt. You guys, that's an amazing deal and it's limited time, so make sure to check out the app. It's completely free, literally perfect brand for me to talk about in this video. Alrighty, next up, let's talk about bank accounts and how many accounts, what kind of accounts we have. So we both had our own separate accounts from when we were not married, and we both have, of course, like checking and savings accounts. When we got engaged, we opened a joint account. I made sure to check that the accounts that we had before and our new account had no fees going back and forth. So if I wanted to transfer money, there was going to be no fees, because you'd be surprised, some banks, for example, Bank of America, between Wells Fargo and Bank of America, at the time that I checked, there was a fee to transfer money. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Why would I pay that extra fee if I don't have to? Next, I created a bank account for my social media business. So I have a business account where I can track all of my money that I make goes in there, and all of the money that I spend comes out of there for my business. For example, if I buy a camera, a tripod, something like that. And then lastly, we have a high yield savings account, which is called an HYS. Either way, it's hard to say it. Basically, a high yield savings account is exactly what it says. It's a savings account that you can take money in and out of at any time, but you get a higher interest rate. Have you noticed on your statement at your bank, you see like 0.01 cent interest income on your statement at like Wells Fargo or Chase or Bank of America? Yeah, that is like a 0.001 interest rate at your bank. But a high yield savings account, and I'll list some here on the screen that I recommend, they can go up to 2.5% return on your money that is just in your bank account. Right now, interest rates are low, so right now it's like 0.05%, but it's still way better than a regular bank account. But these accounts move with the market, so they flow the same way interest rates flow. So in peak season, you're getting 2.5% on your money, and that extra 10, 20, 30 bucks a month, like I said, every dollar counts. That's a Chipotle, that's a Starbucks, that is a Marshall's gift card. Like, just, it's free. I don't understand why you wouldn't, okay? Do it. Just do it. Alrighty, next up we have credit cards. Now, credit cards can be kind of controversial. Dave does not like them, but I personally like them because I like to get that 1 to 3% cash back on every single purchase. I do want to stress that you have to pay your credit cards in full every single month. Don't just pay the minimum amount due, because that will lead you to build up interest on your credit card debt, and it may get out of control. So I would not use credit cards if you don't trust yourself enough to say, I know I'm not going to spend money that I don't have, and I know I'm going to pay it in full. If you can't trust yourself to do that, and there's nothing wrong with admitting that, like some people, credit cards are not good for them. So I would say don't get a credit card if that's the case. But if you can trust yourself, I would take advantage of the 1 to 3% cash back, because why not? And when it does come time to redeem that cash back, I always redeem it for cash, straight cash, deposit into my bank account. Don't get the gift cards, because a $25 cash back, cash money, feels different than a $25 gift card. If I have a $25 Starbucks gift card, I'm gonna spend $25 at Starbucks. But if I have $25 cash, I'm likely only gonna spend $5 at Starbucks and save the 20. So just a tip. So how many credit cards do we have? That's a good question. We both have our own credit cards from before our marriage. We both have several. There's nothing wrong with having multiple cards, again, as long as you pay them off. So we both had the Wells Fargo college card. We both have Discover cards because it helps to build your credit. When we got our joint bank account, we also got a joint credit card. That's where we put our groceries, our utility bills, everything we can goes on our credit card, and we have auto payments to pay it off automatically, and then we redeem that 3% on everything, and it comes out to like 70 bucks a month. I have a credit card linked to my business bank account, so if I buy a camera, I use my credit card. This is it right here, and I swipe it, I pay it off, and I get the points. So those are basically the credit cards we have, but we really only use the joint one and then my business one. Those are the only two that we use regularly. The other ones we don't use, and that's okay. You don't have to use all of your credit cards, but I would recommend do not close the credit credit card accounts because that hurts your credit. If you have 10 credit cards open, leave them open, don't close them, just don't use them. If you don't trust yourself to not use them, take a pair of scissors and cut it and shred it and throw it away so that you don't use it, but the account will stay open and it'll help your credit. And the reason is, let's say you have $1,000 available to spend on each card and you have 10 cards. That means you have a $10,000 credit limit. If you close 5 of the 10 accounts, your credit limit gets cut in half and you only have $5,000 credit limit. And it looks good to have more credit available. So the more credit you have available, the higher your credit score. That's just how it works. That's just how it is. Okay? Next, let's talk about investments and stocks. Here in the US, and I'm not sure how it works in Canada or other countries, but there may be similar systems where you live. We have what's called a 401k or a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA. These are all fancy words for retirement accounts. Now, I have some mixed feelings about these accounts. I personally don't like the fact that you can't touch the money until you're 65 and that there's penalties if you do remove the money early. But there are many situations where I do agree with them. For example, in a 401k, typically the employer, whoever you work for, will match whatever you put in. So if I put in $2,000 into my retirement account, my employer will also put in $2,000, and that is free money. That's a benefit that a lot of companies give, large companies. Now, smaller, medium-sized companies, they can't afford to do that. For example, the company I work for, you guys know, it's my family's business. There's that option doesn't exist. I would never personally invest my money into a 401k because I don't have the employer match and I wouldn't be able to touch the money until I'm 65. But if your employer does a match, I recommend to do it because why wouldn't you? That's free money. And if I had that, I would definitely use that account. So it's different for everybody. There may be reasons why you like it or you don't like it. But for me, I personally don't use any of those accounts because I would rather invest the same amount of money into my own index fund, mutual fund, stock market fund, and be able to touch the money whenever I want. It does the same thing. So basically, when you invest your money into a retirement account, they invest that money into the stock market. It doesn't just sit in a bank account. So basically, I just take that on myself. I do it myself. I use Wealthfront, and I'll list some other places where you can do this too. Basically, Wealthfront is an app where you can choose your risk factor. So I have a risk factor of 8.5, and they will invest your money for you into mutual funds, index funds, and it will basically move with the market, which is basically what a retirement account does. So I just like to take control of that myself because I don't have the employer match. That's just what I personally like to do. I highly recommend these apps and these websites listed here because they just give you control over your finances and they make investing easy. You don't have to worry. You don't have to choose each specific stock. You just choose what you want in general and they will put you in the right fund for you. I'm sweating. So now I'm going to talk about how we manage our money week to week, day to day, month to month. Like I said, this isn't a budget video. We don't really have a set budget for anything. We kind of have general numbers in our head for food and spending and things like that. So we try to live off of my 8 to 5 salary alone, which is only one of our income streams. By doing that, we avoid that lifestyle inflation trend. We live below our means. If all of the other income went away, we would still be okay. We wouldn't be accumulating debt. We would get by off of my salary. I think that's so important. So let's say you make $50,000 a year. Try to live off 40. Try to live off 30 and see how much you can save. No matter how much you make, I believe it is so important to live below your means if you can. I know that's not the case for everybody. People who are in poverty, I totally understand that it's not the case for everybody, but if you can, I would highly recommend it. Another thing we do is automatic transfers. So when I get paid, I have a portion of my money go directly to my Wealthfront account. That's my investment account that I auto invest. And then I have a certain portion that goes directly to the church. So I automate my giving. There's nothing wrong with automating your tithes or your giving. It doesn't make it less meaningful. It just makes you more consistent. And then we have auto pay on all of our bills. So our credit cards, our utilities, literally everything. We have auto pay. I know that's such a blessing to be able to have that on auto pay, but if you can and are able, put as much as you can on auto pay because it alleviates the stress and you don't have to worry about being late, accumulating late fees, and it's just good. And then anything excess at the end of the month goes directly into our high yield savings account. So we don't keep a lot of money in our checkings, our joint checkings. That is just enough to get by the month. So anything extra, if we have $200 extra at the end of the month, boom, directly into high yield savings. And you'll see over time your high yield savings compounds on itself. So this month I get $5 in interest. Next month I'm gonna get $5.50. Next month these are small numbers, but they add up over time. And the more money you have in there, the more it'll grow and the faster you'll get rich. Just kidding. Alrighty, let's just get into the reason you clicked on this video. How much money do I make on YouTube? I'm gonna show you on my phone because that's just easier, okay? It's a lot easier. It's really easier. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna be super real with you guys. Like, I'm sharing literally exactly how much I made. Okay, so this is my YouTube Studio app overview. In the last 28 days, I got 426,087 views. I got 45,000 watch hours, and I made 2,000 estimated revenue. I made $2,695 in the last 28 days. Okay, in September, I made $2,919.54. So almost $3,000. That's pretty cool. This is just from the ad revenue, which is only one of the 3 sources of income. That does not mean that if you get 400,000 views, you will get $2,900. It does not work like that. It depends on literally thousands of factors, like what age is your audience, what gender, where do they live, what kind of videos do they watch, how long are your videos, how long do they watch the video, what do they watch before, what do they watch after. So you can't just say this number of views equals this much money. It does not work like that at all. So that's AdSense. Now, I can't exactly say exactly how much I make from sponsorships, but I can tell you that my AdSense revenue is only about 30 to 40% of my total monthly YouTube income. So I do make quite a bit more from sponsors than I do from YouTube. So if you do the math, you can kind of figure out more or less on a monthly average what I make. The last thing here is affiliate income. I make around $100 to $150 per month on affiliate income. So if you buy this shirt with my link, if you buy Built Bar with my link, if you buy Daily Harvest with my link, anything that I promote, I can basically almost always get a small commission on. But again, it's really small, but every dollar counts, right? So that I am so grateful for that $150. It's just when you compare it to my sponsors and then my ads, it's not a lot, but $150, that's a lot. With my sponsorships, I do have a management company that handles that for me. As you guys know, I signed with them recently, or like 5-6 months ago, and they take a percentage of my deals, but they make it so that I get more deals. So overall, I'm still making more than if I didn't have a management company, but I'll talk more about that in detail. I'm gonna make a video all about YouTube, how to start, how to grow, how to make money. So make sure to subscribe if you wanna see that. As you guys can see, if you do the math, YouTube is really lucrative, and that's a huge motivation to why I started my channel. Not the only motivation, but it is a huge motivation to be able to make money and to make these cool videos for you guys and connect with you guys. I think it's so cool. I highly encourage anyone who wants to start YouTube, just do it. Just start. I think it's so fun, and I highly encourage anyone who wants to do it, just jump in 2 feet and just go ahead and do it. And I just want to say how grateful I am. I don't take any of this for granted. I know how privileged and how blessed we are to have this disposable income. But again, this is where the lifestyle inflation can easily kick in. So we're doing everything we can to avoid that. We're trying to still live like we lived last year, even though this year I have YouTube. I could easily just spend all of that money. We could get a bigger house. I could get a new car, but I'm trying my best not to do those things. I'm just being super open and honest. Like, this is how it is and this is what I do, and yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that YouTube video coming soon, and follow me on Instagram if you don't want to miss a video. AJ is outside waiting for me to finish. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.